So today we are coming through the North Cascade Mountains, which has a lot of national parks, national forests, just a lot of nice little spots. Now they do give a warning if you're out here. The trailheads right along US 20 tend to have a lot of break-ins. We're probably safer on this one because it's a mile back on a dirt road. Right now we're on the Cutthroat Trail and it's just beautiful. I'm not going to hike too far back here. I don't know how far the trail back goes, and there's not a specific trail map that I've seen or have right now. So I'm just going to walk on this well-maintained trail for about probably half a mile and then take a few pictures and turn around. There's several of these on up into the Cascades. I'm still about another hour from the entrance up into the Cascades, which is one of the top wilderness national parks, meaning there's almost no development at all. You pretty much abandon ship and hike through complete wilderness to the places where you're going to visit, camp, and hike to. So this is a really nice place for people who can get off-grid for several days at a time, and unfortunately that's not me. I think I can freely film here. This is Washington Pass. This is on US 20, heading over from the valley, the Methal Valley, over into the Seattle area. And there's a nice little lookout here. This is Washington Pass. Let's see what we look at the end of this lovely trail over here. Yeah, this is an absolutely beautiful pass, and did a really good job with the trails up here as well. It's all accessible, of course, except for that step there, but there's plenty of accessible views and arches here as well. So this is beautiful though. We stopped at the Canyon Creek Trail. The little trail's gonna go around the Canyon Creek over here, which is gonna pass into the larger river. I'm gonna check out, see if there's any maps. Probably not, because maps in this area have been pretty horrible. I've been using my OpenStreetMaps map, which done pretty good. So I can actually see there's some good trails. Little campground back here, and then there's some trails going up. The campground is pretty awesome. It's small groups of tent sites. And there's a number of them really short here. There's a lot of cedar. I'm seeing some cedar, probably some western hemlock, and a few other cool plants around here. There's actually one over here. I don't know exactly what it is. Odd little leaf. Actually, there's one this way. And you can get a chance to see what it is. Or maybe it's a cedar. Oh, wow, it's a cedar. Well, anyway, we're going to hike on the trail and see what we get. This one, wanted to do this one because it's going to follow the stream for a lot of the trail, and that's gives us a little bit of variety as we go through this recreation area. Looks like we might be crossing the river here, so before we do that, let's go down and have a look at it. It's beautifully clear. Possibly clean enough to drink out of. You might still want to boil it, but very clean, mostly granite. See beautiful specimens of granite down here. Massive granite boulders and perfectly crystal clean water. So that's not fog or clouds behind me. There's actually an active forest fire. So I stopped here mostly so I could pull my smoke alarms off the wall and pull the batteries out. The smoke alarm, and I did the carbon monoxide alarm because, yeah, I know there's smoke, and I don't need that going off while I'm going down the road, and then the cats are going to be all spinning in circles going, "Wah!" because I can't stop in the middle of the street. So preemptively, I stopped. I pulled out the smoke alarms. Now you can see the evidence of the fire a whole lot better here. There's actually a fire helicopter up that way. You won't be able to see him because he's a small little dot, but he's in this canyon. He's kind of circling around, looking around, but behind me here, there's a little glacier peak sticking out right about there, and then can't really see a whole lot more down there. If you bend this way, you can see where the reflection is off of the lake down below. And then there's a few little tiny islands you might be able to make out. There's one, there's one, there's a little one there, which are all going to be little islands in the lake down below, which you can barely see because, yeah, that's a cool forest fire. And we get to drive through that. Not sure how close the fire is to the road and if we'll actually see flames. Most likely not, or else they'd probably close the road. But visibility is going to be limited. This was one of several forest fires I've encountered on this loop so far. And this one here was going over the Cascades. I encountered another one over close to Rainier, another one down in the Eugene, Oregon area, and then a few more as well. So this was the first of the forest fires. I did run for a couple states without the smoke alarms, but that's okay. I keep things pretty well monitored back here anyway. But from here, it was just such a beautiful drive over. I didn't do a ton inside the Cascades, but I did stop at the visitor center for about 10 miles of hiking, all available at one of the visitor centers down in the city down here, which I'll get to what the name of the city is down here when we get up to the future parts. I made it down to the visitor center here in New Halem, and we're going to hike several of the trails here that are right around the town. Some of these are some of the nicest, and with all of the warnings about leaving your car on, Route 20, I think this is a good place to stop and do another few miles of hiking. Scenery behind me is beautiful, of course, very clouded due to the forest fires, but overall pretty nice place. So we're going to go ahead and hike about 3 miles one way of trails, so 3 to 5 miles total overall, I think, and we'll see what we do. The first of our trails is the River Loop Trail. Now, there's a whole big loop to it, which we're not going to do because I've already done a little bit of river hiking, and that will add a little bit more because I'd like to get over to the tree trail. There's a cedar trail. There's a rock ledge trail. There's a few other ones that look good. But this one is going to lead me over in the backwoods to a linking trail that links the western part of the town of Newham, is it Newtham, I think, into the eastern town where we can connect to the rest of the trails. But it is a beautiful forest going down here, and we'll see where to go next. Here you can see the close-up evidence of a forest fire, which was not this season, but more recently. You can see how black that tree trunk is all the way up to the top there, and then see the fire getting out to here, some over here as well. And then if you look out, you can see all the dark spots on the trees. That's where the forest fire was. Probably not too long ago, based on what I'm seeing here, but certainly not this season and not this current forest fire, or else all these green trees and such would not have come back yet. It takes a few years for these guys to reseed themselves after this, but it was a pretty significant fire at some point in time. I can say that for sure. This is a nice, cool, burnt out tree. Look at this. The marrow of the tree has been burnt. Very cool. So I made it back to where the powerhouse is. This is actually one of the buildings where they generate electricity for this area out of the dams. And the original building was burnt down in 1966. This one was built in 1970. The original, there's a little placard right here, was built in 1921, and it supplied electricity to operate a sawmill and the construction of the dam, which is upriver a little bit. Caught in fire, burnt down during the break and stock pipe that transports from the water of the dam to the powerhouse, caused it to spray the surrounding trees to save the forest. That's cool. So the thing broke down and saved the forest that way. We have a little bit of outtake water here. And then up this way should be, now I'm a little confused. Again, the trailheads out here aren't super well marked. There's an evacuation route trail there, but the Trail of Cedars kind of splits out and loops around. And there's two trailheads right here. So I'm pretty sure this is the Trail of Cedars, although I don't see any specific signs about it. But we're gonna walk down this way, assuming it is. And I'm going to verify that on the GPS on my offline map. But I'm pretty sure that's exactly where I'm at here. So we've made it. So far it's been pretty cool, and we have actually another placard right here. This is a black cottonwood tree. It looks like a green moss covered tree to me, but you know. So here's the river coming in, and the outlet for the hydroelectric power is going to come down here when there's enough water to run through it. And this guy here, this little dam, is here to prevent the salmon from jumping up here as they're swimming upstream. Now they can jump that high, except this trough stays too shallow for them, that they can't get the height in this depth of water. It's a very fast-moving river. Of course, it's downstream from a power plant, so would not want to fall in there. It would be, though, fun on a boat or a raft. And then I believe that's the bridge that'll go across into the city, which is over there. And then from here, I need to look at the numbers, because there's another hike that's over there that's fairly short I might want to do. Let's need to see how long it's going to take. This is the hike I wasn't completely sure I was going to do, but I decided I would, because it wasn't too far out of the way. Behind me is the dam and the power station, and then what they did is they diverted some of the water to produce a waterfalls garden up here that we can get a chance to walk through as we look at it. And this is on the side of the town of I think it's called Newham, I think. I can't barely pronounce the name of the town. I don't know why. It's not that difficult, but it's just a me thing. So really cool place though. This alone is worth a few miles of hiking. So that Falls Garden we just went on at night is actually illuminated with LED, and I'm not sure if they still do now, but they at least some point in time used to pump music back there to set the scene walking through the garden. It was a very novel thing and an idea, since they basically had unlimited power and close proximity to the power plant to line it in. So that's actually the power generation station for the Gorge Dam, which is almost 3 miles up the river. And then they have a small channel that they divert the water for the power station into that channel to generate the electricity. And then they overflow it into the river and the creeks if they have too much water in there. So they basically built a way to prevent the flooding. This whole town used to have a lot of serious floods. And once they built the dam where they can do a lot better control of the water, they were actually able to mitigate most of the flood damage any point in time of the year. So this is just a really cool place. I gotta say, I'm very impressed with these hikes, which aren't technically part of the park as much, although they are connected to the visitor center for the park. A lot of these are some projects from the University of Washington and Seattle Lights Project. So it's really cool though, and we saw a lot of the park as well, and just various hikes throughout the day today. So we're gonna wrap this one up here. Thanks for watching, everybody. You can subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so. Hit that notification bell, and we will see you a little bit further down the road.